Right, how are you doing everybody? Welcome to Russell Heritage Golf. Hopefully you guys are all keeping really good. Today we are going to be talking about a simple tip, or almost, it's a little bit like a trick. And this is one of the exercises or feels that I absolutely love to give golfers to transform how they hit the golf ball. So first of all, to put it into sort of context, the biggest problem for amateur golfers when it comes to the hitting area, and I'm going to class the hitting area as roughly 6 inches prior to 6 inches post impact, is that they get too flicky, which just basically means the club head sort of overtakes the hands in that hitting area. Now the reason why this happens is because the trail arm straightens too soon. And one of the reasons why the trail arm straightens too soon is because golfers don't realise that they're really supposed to be using that trail hand to push the club through that hitting area. Now, how do you do that though? Because it's hard, right? Because if you're a golfer who's started flicking, and for a right-handed golfer who's flicking, you start closing down that face, you don't know, but you start compensating in your alignment. I see it all the time. Golfers who are kind of flicking will aim to the right. This then plays havoc with the backswing, and it becomes messy. And so what we want to do is we want to do something very subtle that will force you to stop doing it. And then you can change your alignment and realign things. So how do you do it? Well, it's really easy, but it's also quite difficult. It's difficult to coordinate, but you should do it 100%. So what you do is you take hold of the golf club like you normally would, but what you do with your trail hand is you then sort of take the fingers off the club, but you keep your palm in contact with your lead thumb. Now, that'll be quite a scary feeling alone, to be sort of holding it like so. Now, what then happens, you see, is that, well, you'd be surprised that you can't really flick it through. And the reason why you can't is because if I sort of demonstrate a practice swing of somebody who sort of flicks it through, your trail hand won't be able to keep up with the lead hand. And if you're somebody who starts to demonstrate impact much better and you drive that through, you'll be able to keep it in contact up to about lead arm horizontal, which is this position here. Now, this is the kind of feeling that golfers want, because for me, you can see the way I'm having to sort of shift my momentum and get through the ball to be in this type of position. What we don't want to be is you don't want to be back here and letting go. So it's a really clever exercise where you're just basically trying to keep this sort of knuckle in contact with the side of that club shaft for as long as you possibly can. But it's scary because you might miss-hit quite a few shots before you start to coordinate it. Now, be realistic. If you're somebody who has not got the confidence to do this and hit a ball, then start by just trying to hit the ground with a short swing until you feel like you'd have a chance of being able to do that. Now, then the question would be, and one of the tests would be, why don't you do that drill and then video it? Okay, so you do the exercise and you video it from face on, and I promise you, you'll be absolutely astounded, not necessarily with the result, but you'll be astounded with how it visually looks. So then what do you do though? How do you then transform that into a full swing? And this is the clever bit of it, I think. You just start to gradually reintroduce the fingers into the club. So the next finger to come on would be your index finger. So you then take hold of the club and you've got your index finger, and you should, when you're holding this, you should feel the pressure of your index finger on the underside of the club shaft, so that you can get more of a feeling now of helping you create things like wrist cock and get this club into a better position. That's the hard thing when you have the hand like this, is you can't really generate much power, but you hoik that little finger under and all of a sudden you'll be absolutely astounded with how much easier it is to control it. I'm not saying that you're going to get amazing results again, but then, as you can see from there, you're going to start to get more of a golf swing going. And then you would do that, and the next finger to be introduced is your thumb. Your thumb lives down the lead side of the handle, so now you've almost got your thumb applying a pressure and your forefinger, and to be honest with you, this is where the drill stops, because with just that amount of connection with your trail palm, your thumb and your index finger, you should be able to demonstrate a really decent level of results with hitting the ball. And I'm not saying it won't test your coordination, but if you start going too quickly, putting all the fingers back on, what you'll start to notice is that you just tend to revert back to type. And what we want to do is we want to try and make sure that you get a feeling of familiarity so you can still generate power, but that feeling of unfamiliarity where it still encourages you to do the new move. So it's a really simple clever drill, and it comes down to the individual as to how disciplined you are doing it. But when I typically give this exercise to people that are here for lessons, after sort of 10 to 15 minutes, and maybe after sort of 20 to 30 tries, if that's easier, they start to coordinate it. So you have to go through that little barrier first and foremost, but once you do that, then you will start to transform the way that you end up hitting the golf ball. So that's it. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. I'll catch you with you guys again really soon.